Spider-Man 2.
Hot
All
new
right, Drix.
PS5 flagship title.
And you know what, Drix? I gotta tell you, this game was awesome. I finished it. I couldn't put it down. Start to finish, had a great time. There's a lot that I liked about it. Couple things that I don't think there's first of all, disclaimer, I don't think there's anything I disliked about it. There wasn't anything nagging, no weird problems, nothing got tedious and like grated on you the entire game. There's nothing like that. From start to finish, this game is all killer, no filler.
Oh,
like,
cool.
It's really, really cool that way. Mainly because the filler missions, it's not like the old Spider-Man games where you kind of had to do these like filler missions to move the timeline along in the world. It's not like that anymore. You kind of can just do whatever you want. And you're going to need to get stronger. I played it on the hardest difficulty. You're going to need to get stronger to keep up with the changing enemy types. But overall, there's nothing in this game where I never was like about to do a mission, but then was like, oh no, man, not this shit again. Because that happened in Miles Morales, that happened in the original Spider-Man game. There are some missions in those games where you're just like, dude, I just don't want to do this. And like,
what a drag. Buzzkill.
Yeah, it's such a buzzkill, you know. The way I really like the way that this game achieves it as well. The game achieves a balance between all of those things by making it really about how you want to approach situations. So, first of all, let's get this out of the way. The moment-to-moment gameplay, amazing. There's never a moment where I was really bored. I was always doing something cool. I was always doing something that I found personally engaging. There was always something that felt like I wanted to do. There is a fast travel system in this game. I use it maybe twice. Because moving around the city is just so much fun. It's just one of the coolest things to just web sling around as Spider-Man. I loved it. There isn't very many games where you can say the traversal is part of the appeal, but this is definitely one of them. Another part of the appeal is the combat. Now, listen. Sometimes these superhero action games, these button masher action games, sometimes they can get pretty messy. I know these old Batman Arkham games, they really, you know, when you're flying from one end of the room to the other, there's a couple of, there could be some inconsistencies with the targeting and all that kind of stuff. And there are a few times where you don't feel fully in control of who you're trying to hit, but it never stays that way. Like you hit it's like this. You hit the wrong guy a couple of times, you land a few punches on the wrong dude, and then you're like, shit, I didn't want to fight that guy, and then you turn around and fight the guy you want to fight. Easy. No muss, no fuss. So, as far as the controls go, very smooth, very responsive, very fluid. Just like the game retains the same style of combo system from the first Spider-Man game. It ditches the little bit like the super stun heavy gameplay style of the Miles Morales game, where you were like stunning everybody and getting free combos. That doesn't really happen in this game, but it does have the combo system from the first Spider-Man game, where everything just flows into everything else, and if you know your moves, they all combo together really well. There's a big focus on air combos in this game, and a big focus on dodging and the new parry mechanic. So there's a big focus, I guess I should say, on defensive play and waiting for your opponent to present an obvious opportunity for you to just smash them to pieces. You really do feel surgical at the end of the day. You really do feel like Spider-Man running through thugs. taking them out, pulling their guns away, throwing thugs at other thugs, using gadgets to disable a bunch of people at the same time. The air combos are great. By the end of the skill trees make a return, and one of the big things that you can specialize in is aerial combat. I ended up doing that, and you feel like a beast by the end of it because you're just bringing people up into the air and smacking them up like a Marvel vs. Capcom character. It really does feel like you really do get that feeling because you do like 1, 2, 3 hit combo, like punch and kick combo, and then all of a sudden you do web swing, and then you can do the web throw, just like from Marvel vs. Capcom, where you do the flip and it flips them around, you slam them on the ground, and then you get a ground bounce, and then you can continue the combo. You know, like it's really good, really fun, super in-depth. You do a lot of damage when you do it right. And when you combine it with the dodge heavy and parry, the dodge heavy style combat that's like you're familiar with from the Arkham style games, and then with parries that are kind of like easy Souls style ones. You see it happen a couple of times in the B-roll. You get a nice little pushback, and then everyone gets stunned, and you get free combos. Switching between Miles and Peter is seamless. They both have their own styles they both have their own play styles. A lot of people, anecdotally, I hear a lot of people saying Miles is super strong. I felt Peter was super strong. I really like playing as Peter with and without the symbiote. But they are two different playstyles. Towards the middle part of the game, at the beginning they feel very similar. Towards the middle part, Miles and Pete start feeling very distinct. But that leads me into the story. Now, story is a familiar one. It's the old symbiote Spider-Man story. But there's a lot of eclectic storytelling going on here because it's almost like they're retelling one of the best Marvel storylines that ever has been and incorporating a lot of modern Marvel fixing. Like, off the top of my head, you've got Kraven's Last Hunt in here. You got Planet Venom in here. You've got there's a lot, actually. Now that I'm sitting down and thinking about it, there's a lot, and I actually that's all I'll say, because those two right there really say a lot about the kind of story that you're gonna play through, and the payoff is great. I was pleasantly surprised all the way through. My expectations were subverted in the good way, and not in the subvert expectations Hollywood way. No, I thought something was gonna happen, totally didn't happen. Like the ending is great. The beats and the twists and turns are delightful. A lot of them are delightful callbacks and nods to old Spider-Man characters and lore. So if you are a fan, 100% you want to check this out. If you're a PS5 owner, you should just buy this straight up. This is probably the most technically impressive games you can play. I used to use Returnal as a benchmark for my PS5. Like when people would come over and be like, well, what's so good about the PS5? It's like, all right, let me boot up this game Returnal. You know, it's pretty sick. Very, very good game. Really utilizes all of the PS5 has to offer, from the controller to the sound, the sound capabilities to the visuals. This game is the new benchmark. You've got a lot going on with the controller. You've got a lot going on with the sound. The sound design is fantastic. There are so many moments where you are just left. Your jaw is dropping because you could. I'll say it like this: Sifted on Sifted Games, the Sifted Games podcast, they said that you could turn off the music and the ambient, and it's like the ambient noise is like its own soundtrack. They're right. There are moments in this game where the music does go down and like almost fades away. It never fully goes away, but in those moments you really can hear the hustle and bustle of the city, people talking, things going like birds flying through the trees if you're near a park. It's awesome. It's so cool. And not to mention, you go on top of the Empire State Building, dude, you can see the whole city. It's all rendered.
Wow, what a feat. It's
really, really cool. You're seeing here in the B-roll a lot of good lighting effects. The lighting off the suit looks fantastic as it like all the like as the suit, the black suit, symbiote suit looks so cool when it meets the light in all the different ways that it bounces off and all the different ways that the suit is textured. There's just so much that's impressive. That's to say nothing about the battle damage that is visible, that is accrued on Spider-Man and both Spider-Man. I'll say it like that. Both Spider-Man when you're playing the game, and it depending on what suit you're wearing, because there's Spider-Man wears a lot of different kinds of suits. There are some that are traditional style superhero suit, and there are others that are like the armor. It's all different. So there's a lot of TLC in this game. And I wouldn't say it's perfect because there's a lot to do, but I don't think it's all compelling. Like there are a couple of games that just feel kind of like there are a couple of mission chains that just feel kind of like Mario Party mini games that you kind of just want to get over with. Like right here in the B-roll, if you're checking out the B-roll right now, those shots of the symbiote suit, incredible, and the shot of the lizard right here, amazing. But this game is also buggy, Drinks.
Really?
Yes. This game is buggy. Crashed on me 3 times.
Huh. Something you just can't get away from nowadays, huh?
Just can't get away from it. It's not like it really killed the experience. I just booted it up again and played for another 6 hours. Like,
that's good.
It didn't really sour anything for me. And it doesn't happen often, but there's that. And there are times when you are... So the game never really walls you off like a hard wall. But there are times when you're not supposed to leave where you are. And
okay.
like you're not really like you're supposed to beat all these enemies, right? You're not supposed to run away from this fight, kind of thing, right? Those sequences, since there are no defined barriers, those sequences and encounters, they can get kind of messy if you don't realize that you are in a smaller arena than where you actually are, because Spider-Man will start moving erratically, like trying to move more towards the center of the arena or backwards where you came from, where you were trying to get away from something, or maybe you knock someone really far away and you want to pursue them. Sometimes Spider-Man will go over there, you'll land a few hits, you'll start your combo, and then he'll like web zip behind him and want to go the other way. And you're like, oh, I don't know what's going on there.
I'm supposed to be over here right now.
Yeah, I'm supposed to. I wanted to finish that guy. Guess I'm not finishing that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like in the original one, there are glitches where if you're web slinging for too long, now I didn't know this, but there is a web sling assist sensitivity setting. So I guess it's like maxed out by default, so no one feels like they mess up. But I guess there is like real web slinging in the game if you know what you're doing. And the assist is always on because no one really knows what it's like to be Spider-Man. So, which makes sense. So it makes me think that maybe what I'm about to say has to do with that. But man, there are times when you're web slinging for a long time and you want to land, and like you'll try to just land somewhere, and Spider-Man will just do his falling animation on the ground, and then he'll like hit the ground hard for like no reason.
Huh.
It's really strange. Yeah, very strange. A lot of quirky things like that happen. So there's a lot of weirdness in Spider-Man 2. I'll say it like that. But overall, I'm pretty sure this game's a 5 out of 5. If you got a PS5, you just got to pick it up. I'm sure there's going to be DLC for it. Even if there's no DLC for it, this is another game like Final Fantasy 16 where the full thing is on a disc. Just buy it from the store, pop it in your console. You play the full thing. You don't need. There's a day one patch, but you don't need it. So Spider-Man, yeah. As far as everything is concerned, gameplay is fantastic, very buttery smooth. There are the storyline is amazing. The voice acting and the mocap before I end it here is great. Baldur's Gate 3 really impressed earlier this year. This game has better mocap and face capture than that game.
Wow, that says a lot.
Yeah, it's really, really good. It's very, very good. There's a lot of fun little puzzles and mini games that can distract you and give you rewards if for whatever reason you're bored being Spider-Man. But yeah, there's a little bit of something for everyone. The only thing that this game doesn't have is multiplayer, and I don't really think it needs it, Drix. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5.